Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today is an exciting day. Well, we have a chance to move to the grand finale in the bracket tournament against Bubba Wallace while Chandler Smith goes head to head against Carson Hocevar. But we're going home. We're going to Canada, the Toronto area, of course, where I as well am from, at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Very excited for this race. And even more excitingly, for the first time this season, we have the Petro-Canada colors on our Joe Gibbs number 19 Toyota Camry. We're going to jump straight into qualifying here now, and you can see the flames on the side of the car. Cachinero whipped up an incredible paint scheme there, and we get our qualifying lap underway now, as a goal of a 119 on the board. You will, by the way, just a heads up, notice a little bit of a lack of content on this channel for probably the next week or so. That's due to the release of F124, and I've got full focus on that coming out on the Formula 1 channel. You can always check that out at Formula Owen. There's been some critiques of the game, but I've actually been having a really good time with the new career mode. It's fantastic, so I'm excited for you guys to see what I have in store for that. But even if you're not a fan of Formula 1, if you've liked what I've done with the story here on the NASCAR side of things, you will certainly enjoy what I do in the F1 side of things as well here. Now, as we continue getting up through the gears down this long back straightaway here in this Petro-Canada Toyota Camry, as we continue on towards what will be this high-speed slowdown section into the right-hander, the sweeping right-hander that will lead us into the final two corners, the left and then that right here. Penultimate turn as I go a little bit wide on the apex now, not exactly what I want, and then through the right-hander and hard on the gas to the line. What's it going to be? It feels like a good lap, maybe top 10, maybe even top 5, a 1:16.459. That puts us row 2, P3. Great qualifying effort here from Canada, and on pole position, our teammate who's in a must-win situation, Denny Hamlin. Anybody that wants to get into the playoffs now has to win, due to Carson Hocevar getting the win last episode in Indianapolis. Now, as you see the rest of the order, Shane Van Gisbergen with a bit of a disappointing effort, as now we put our full focus into actually the race weekend. Now, Xfinity Series was in action. They actually had 2 races before this Cup race. So the first race, I won't show the finishing order, but Jesse Love actually picked up his first win. But William Sawalich won this weekend, another win. That's like 7 wins for the rookie, who's clearly showcasing, hey, it's time to put me into a Cup Series car now. Connor Zilish in the top 10 as well. Sanchez in the top 20. As you can see the rest of the finishing order on your screen, all the way down towards the bottom. You had Christian Eckes, a rough day for him. Ryan Truex as well. Haley Deegan, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., all the way at the bottom of the grid.
We're coming to you live from Canada. We've seen road courses produce plenty of drama this year, and now we have just 3 regular season races to go to determine who is in the playoffs and who isn't.
We haven't talked about it much, but let's pay attention to the regular season championship battle. Gary Owen has taken full advantage of those 5 or so races where the Hendrick drivers were slower, and now leads the standings in these final races.
And he looks like a threat coming into his home race, guys. Denny Hamlin, starting from pole, needs to win to get in. Let's see if he can pull it off today.
Gary Owen, it's Steve Letarte up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Home race for you today. How does it feel coming to Canada again, and with what looks like a strong car?
Yeah, it feels great. Fans are great. This place has the best fans, and I mean, I feel the support. I feel the speed in this car. A lot can happen on these road courses. That's been proven against me this season, so it's just about staying on top of things.
All right, good luck.
Speaking of Canada and Canadians, we have 5 career wins under our belt. It doesn't take much to be the most successful Canadian in the NASCAR Cup Series. With 5 wins, we are the most successful Canadian in NASCAR at this point already. So that's a nice, easy feat to have. Nonetheless, JGR 1, 2, 3, we're racing from Canada. Denny Hamlin in a must-win scenario in his final season to get to the playoffs. Now, can he make it happen in Canada? Well, my statistics would tell me no, and he's already lost the lead. Here we go into turn number 2. Kyle Larson into the mix. Hendrick Motorsports has moved on from those struggles that they faced after the penalties that they were, of course, given by NASCAR. They are basically back in form now. Whatever they have done, they figured out how to be quick again, basically basically, so just in time for the playoffs. Keep in mind, again, the bracket tournament, we are going head-to-head against Bubba Wallace, who's never that good when it comes to road course racing, so it should be an easy win for us to get into the finale. Carson, host of our last episode winner, has gotten through the bracket tournament to go up against Chandler Smith. That one's going to be interesting to watch. Hocevar has his moments, but I'm confident going against either of them going into the finale if we make it that far. Now, clear of Larson, Denny Hamlin just in front of us, 6 laps here in stage 1. I am going to be quite lenient early in this race to Denny Hamlin. Give him a little bit of time to kind of sort things out here, but it was pretty easy for him because now I'm under pressure at the end of this lap from the number 5 of Kyle Larson. Now we're side by side on the exit of this final turn. 1 lap complete. Daniel Suarez for Meyer Shank Racing as well into the mix here in the top 5. Suarez, of course, always shows up on the road courses and behind. There's the 31 of AJ Allmendinger. We're 3 wide here into turn number 2. Suarez getting the elbows out, going 3 wide around the outside, and now here comes Allmendinger. He runs into the back of us, and now he's going to push us into the back of the 5. Allmendinger bulldozes through us, and it causes the number 5 of Larson to go around and into the grass. And oh my goodness, the rivalry has boiled to a point where another driver gets taken out. Please make sure the 5 knows what happened there. That was all the 31.
Already on it, he will know.
And how about Chase Briscoe, who's up here in the mix? Allmendinger looking for the overtake on Suarez. Will breeze past the 14 Stuart Haas Racing Ford Dark Horse Mustang now. And keep in mind, Briscoe, if he gets into the top 30, he is in a race against Todd Gilliland to make it into the playoffs. Gilliland in the top 30 with a win from the Daytona 500, currently in the playoffs. He's been running strong recently. We know Gilliland's future already is at Penske Racing behind the wheel of the number 2 next season, as now we continue on behind AJ Allmendinger. Denny Hamlin to the lead of this race now. He's past Christopher Bell and looks to take control. Now we have just enough fuel. Everybody has just enough fuel to get to the end of stage number 1. So it's close, but yeah, we should all be okay here. Now right to the back of this number 31 of Allmendinger, just trying to play it a little bit cautious with him. We saw how he's going to race us. Of course, that 31 team, basically it feels like they're entered to just make my races miserable and harder, but here we go for a pass on Allmendinger now on the left side down this long straightaway. Allmendinger's gonna run into our door. He's gonna push us off the track now when he stays ahead in that Celsius number 31 Chevrolet Camaro coming to the final 2 laps of the stage. Allmendinger not going to make it easy. I'm going to let him know I wasn't a fan of that. Give him a little bit of a shot to the rear bumper. Twice now a shot to the rear bumper. He stays ahead. Here comes Chase Briscoe into the mix. 2 laps ago, and it's been a wild stage 1. Action-packed so far as we continue wheel to wheel with this number 14, but we should clear him on the exit of turn 1, and we stay ahead of Briscoe. Now, problems behind. Kaulig Racing's Noah Gregson goes around. We stay green. We will continue on, but it's going to be day over for him. You see, it's an engine issue there. The smoke pouring out. Josh Berry going to get a piece of it and a golden opportunity to pit, and he decides to not take it, so he's going to have to go around the whole lap. The battle rages on between myself and Noah Gregson's teammate of Allmendinger around the outside. We'll clear him there. A big bold move, ascend now, and now he's under attack from the 14 of Briscoe. We'll keep it around the outside, a little bit wide on the apex, but that's okay. We get a good exit there and ahead. Hamlin in control to the final lap now of stage 1, and we drove away from Allmendinger and Briscoe now holding on to the 3rd position. Bell P2, Hamlin driving away as well, all on his own as he looks to be in command in the early laps here in Canada. But we've seen from the road races this season, so many things can happen, so it's far too early to just assume that 11's going to be the favorite here today. Denny Hamlin, however, wins stage number 1. Bell 2nd. It's a JGR 1, 2, 3, just like we started at the end of it all. Now, after all the chaos in stage 1, we'll take it. P3, 8 points. Briscoe, Shane Van Gisbergen, who started outside the top 10, has driven into 5th in just 6 laps. That 97 looking quite quick. Suarez in 8th, Reddick there in 7th, Haley and Byron the top 10. We will pit for 4 tires and fuel. Keep in mind, Kyle Larson, he actually was outside the top 10, of course. He was P19 after getting spun out after that contact. just watch out for him, as well as some part-timers in the field to mention in stage 2 here, as well. Actually, Almendinger loses 4 spots in the pit lane, but Kamui Kobayashi is in the 67 for 2311 Racing this weekend, as well. James Hinchcliffe is in the field for that Rick Ware Racing team. Stage 2 is officially underway, and as well, Project 91 Trackhouse Racing is in the field this weekend. They have James Davison behind the wheel. Hamlin, a bit of a slow restart, allows Bell and Briscoe to go through on the inside. Here comes Byron around my outside, Shane Van Gisbergen, and what a drive through the field from the Kiwi, the New Zealander, into the top 5. Reddick there fills up my rear view mirror, and we are right alongside that Raptor Chevrolet. William Byron now starting to look back on form, as well as we mentioned already, Hendrick moving on from those penalties. They found the speed that they need here. Now, as you can see, Byron a little bit wide, nearly into the side of me as we go up this, one of the most unique series of corners in the current NASCAR calendar. I genuinely love that sequence there. You go down the long, sweeping left-hander, you go downhill, then you go uphill, and then you have the double right-hander, but it's a heavy braking zone even though it's uphill. Love it. Now, we clear the 24, a push to the back of the FedEx Toyota Camry of Denny Hamlin now, as you can see, starting to look like, you know, reality setting in. Hamlin won stage 1, but maybe not as quick as he wants to actually be. Bell is leading, but a heck of a battle right now is brewing up front. SVG, Briscoe, Chase Briscoe right there trying to get into the top 30 in points. They're 3 wide for the lead. Briscoe to the lead. Bell second. SVG maintains in P3. Hamlin, myself, 4th and 5th. What a battle, what a race we have here in Canada. And of course, road racing in NASCAR has kind of fallen off when the next gen car came in, with the next gen car just sucking at road courses as well as short tracks. And we are seeing one heck of a road race here today, though. The battles are great. Now, I actually got into the back of the 11. I'm going to let Hamlin keep the position now, but Briscoe out in front and driving away. 9 laps here in stage 2 means everybody will have to pit once. The battles continue. Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen continue wheel to wheel, but Hamlin showing the nose. He nearly forces it 3 wide right there, as now here I come with a big run to the back of SVG in that WeatherTech number 97 Camaro for Trackhouse Racing. Of course, Trackhouse Racing has SVG with 2 wins on the season, Chastain with 1. They're both in the playoffs. Kyle Busch in a must-win scenario. What a heartbreaking final part of this regular season it has been for Kyle Busch, of course, now, as it looks like, I mean, I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to make the playoffs. Hamlin as well, as now I lose a rear end right there on the uphill, and we're going to give up 2 positions just after we gain them. So fortunately, we get back on track and get rolling quite quickly there, and we would continue on. And now to the right side of Hamlin a lap later, lap 4. At this point, I said, hey, I can't wait. I got to go. Clearly, you don't have the car you need here in stage 2. So we pass Hamlin, and Briscoe continues to drive away from SVG, and I'm all over the back now of my teammate of Christopher Bell for that 3rd position. We continue on out of that final turn, now starting lap 5 of the stage, and here we go, an opportunity up the inside of the DeWalt Toyota, and you can see him on that green striped, of course, road course tire, as now we continue side by side. The field light comes on though, so we are going to have to pit within the next 2 laps. We clear Bell into the left-hander. You saw the car lift off the ground there, and that put me through the grass, but nonetheless the job's done, and Hamlin's now up the inside of Bell as I go wide again. That time the right side of the car lifting off the ground and leaning to the left, but into 3rd, and Briscoe and SVG at the end of this lap, they're coming into the pits, so we're going to pit as well as we dive into the pits now. 40-mile-per-hour speed limit, so we actually don't speed this week, which is great. So 4 tires, fill it up on field, very easy call, and look at this. After being way behind, we're going to get out in front of SVG and Briscoe. We are now the net leader. What a pit stop from our 19 crew. We have had a heck of a pit crew all season long. During caution sequences and pit stops, we have gained positions all season long in the pit sequence, and we do it again here under green. We are going to be leading if it stays green. If a caution comes out now, it will end the stage, so it would be a bit awkward. And spinning, Austin Hill blows a tire. Downhill he goes, and around he goes. Several 360s. A caution will fly due to the awkward spot. He was stopped on track, and that will put us P18. Christopher Bell wins the stage. That does end the stage, and however, we will be promoted to leading for stage 3 because they all have to pit. So we're going to stay out, and of course everyone else behind us is staying out. They have all pitted, so Bell is going to be kind of screwed. He just lost 17 positions. So now in the lead here, and Canada. So giving up stage 2 points gave us an opportunity for this, to be in control. Of course, it was just pure luck with the caution as we're back racing. It's 17 laps to go. So due to stage 2 ending early, as Hamlin forces it 3 wide of the inside of Briscoe, to P2 goes Hamlin. But due to the fact that stage 2 ended a few laps early, it adds a few laps into stage 3. So it is a minimum 2-stop final stage. But it is also a potential for maybe even a 3-stop depending on when everybody pits, so that would be really interesting. But of course, we just kind of need to wait and see how everything plays out. We have a lot of racing to take care of here in stage 3, but usually when you put me in the lead at a road course, I am able to just drive away, and that's the goal here, is to drive away, make things happen, and just be patient, be calm, and just make sure we get this thing around here without making too many errors.
Okay, you're doing a great job here. How is the car?
So far, so good. I wouldn't change anything. Just need to hope that this race keeps going in our favor. I can't help but get a little bit, I don't know if insecure is the right word, but when I'm leading in these races, the way some of these races have been taken away from us this season, and we have 2 wins, but I feel like we should have 3 at least, and maybe 4. Road America is definitely one we could have had, and yeah, it's hard. It's just like, okay, what's going to happen? A caution's going to come out at a bad time, or something's going to go wrong here. But you know, to try and combat that is just opening up as much of a gap as we can. Kyle Larson has rebounded from the early spin into the top 5 now. He's behind Denny Hamlin, who is struggling a little bit on pace. I mean, we are setting blistering times. I mean, a lot of the fast cars had not pitted at the time of that caution, of course, at the end of stage 2, so they got put back. Shane Van Gisbergen into 5th. Justin Haley now into 4th, but here's our first pit stop coming up. Our fuel light comes on. I would run one more lap around. However, Denny Hamlin's now into the pit, so Hamlin comes in now, and other drivers as well are going to join Hamlin. I wanted to stretch this out a little bit. I'm trying to do this on 2 stops. I don't want 3 stops, and I think if you're going with what Hamlin's doing, they are going to be banking on a 3-stop strategy where they're going to have to pit with maybe 2 or so laps to go in the race for the 3rd and final time. They'll have to pit again around lap 28, 29. That would put them just right on the fine line of getting to the end, and I just don't think they're going to do that. So I'm going to come in at the end of lap 23, and then we'll stay out as long as we can for this next pit stop and just hope basically to get to lap 29. If we can get to 29, we'll be okay. So we come in, we'll put fuel in the car, we'll put 4 tires in the car. This might be the calmest moment of racing we have had all season long right here. This is fantastic for us in this number 19 Toyota Camry. Some other cars staying out, including Christopher Bell and others, due to the fact that, of course, they pitted a lap or so later at the end of the stage there with the caution, so they're going to run it another lap, maybe even 2. But of course, we even if we get a caution now, it's going to work in our favor because we will be leading at that point. Here's where we need cautions. After we've made our pit stops, not before we make our pit stops. So if we get a caution right now, we're fine. If everyone makes their pit stop and then we get late in the run, we know Hamlin and them are going to pit a little bit earlier. If they pit a lap or so earlier, a caution comes up between them pitting and me pitting, we get royally screwed. It'll be race over. So let's not put that bad mentality in our head. Let's just focus in. We still have over 10 laps to go. Everybody else in the top 10 now pitting, including Christopher Bell. We'll round this final turn. We'll return to the lead of this race here in front of the home crowd, who's absolutely loving what they see here now with 11 laps to go from Mosport, the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Hamlin to P2, James Davison for Project 91 into 3rd place in front of Justin Haley. What a run James Davison's having suddenly. Josh Berry briefly into the top 5, but he still actually has to come into the pits. He is yet to make his pit stop now, but a great run for Davison. I say that now, problems for James Davison actually, and you can see it looks like a potential engine issue. He would have to come into the pit lane, so there goes that. James Davison, just as we're talking about how good of a race he's having, he ends up basically out of the race. So sorry, James Davison. Now 10 laps to go in this race. Hamlin continues to maintain 2nd place, but just definitely not as much speed as they need in that 11 car. And also, I don't think the strategy is going to really work out in their favor. Lap 27 at this point now, and I'm just hoping for no caution. Josh Berry's just exiting the pit lane now. I think something's gone wrong there. Shouldn't be a lap down at this point now, so certainly something happened for that number 4 car. Not a great day for him now, as Haley currently up in 3rd place behind Hamlin, Byron, SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen in the top 5. SVG not looking, totally 100% here today. As we know, he's of course really the road course specialist, the guy we expect to dominate these road courses. Now Justin Haley is into 2nd place, so that number 60 looking strong. We've seen Haley, he got that 1 win early in the season at Richmond, but he's really been kind of on form lately. He's been looking really good. As our fuel light now comes on, Hamlin, by the way, actually has pitted, so Hamlin's already made his pit stop, so this is where we're hoping, of course, for no caution between now, because he's not the only one that's pitted. Several others have pitted. We can't make it if we pit now, so we stay out, just assuming for no caution. We will pit at the end of lap 29, because if we pit at the end of lap 29, we will just barely make it on fuel. Haley pits now. Byron through into 2nd place. A majority of the field, at least half the field or so, have now made it to the pit lane. So of course we're just hoping for no caution. Into the back of Corey Heim right here, but we're pitting at the end of this lap, so we just got to make it to the pit lane without that happening. You have to be kidding me, dude.
Oh my god, man.
Nothing surprises me anymore. We stay out, we get a caution, it screws us. We come in early, we get a caution that screws us that way. You see all the names on the leaderboard that are in the pit lane or had just pitted that can stay out. We have to pit along with just about everybody else there in the top 8. Oh my goodness, it never fails. We're dominating this race, dominating the final stage at least. And that happens. We were moments from getting to the pit lane, and that happens, so it never fails. We will restart P13, so not quite half the field had made their pit stops, but it's going to be very hard to get to the front now. I'm not quite sure who's leading. It might be Justin Haley. I can't quite tell actually quite yet still. We're back racing though. It's 4 laps to go, and it's Kyle Busch actually. We're 3 wide. Bell forces one up the inside, but now Haley to the lead. Justin Haley in control, looking for win 2. We need to get aggressive, showing the nose up the inside of the Rick Ware Racing machine. And now 4 wide. Kozlowski, Byron, Bell, myself, all wheel to wheel. We come out there side by side with Kozlowski, but Bell now forces it up the inside. Here we're 3 wide again suddenly, as we now close into the back of Chandler Smith. Keep in mind, we need to beat Bubba Wallace in the bracket tournament. We are well clear of Bubba Wallace even in 14th, so that's not a concern. But Hocevar versus Chandler Smith, don't forget about that. Smith right now winning that battle. Here comes Allmendinger. Allmendinger's going to run into the back of us. He's found us. He bulldozes us into the back of our teammate. Then he plows through us now. We are going to get back up the gears into 3rd, and we actually downshift. We just money shifted from 2nd to 1st, not 2nd to 3rd. The frustrations continue to build. That's the first time on my sequential shifter that I've actually gone down accidentally when I meant to go up. So a rare mistake so far, but we now are down to P15. Allmendinger driving just like a doorknob, and of course we end up getting the bad end of it here, as we now come to 3 to go, and now up the inside of Chandler Smith. We'll pass him and just try to rally our way forward. We can't win without a caution. We need a caution to re-rack them, stack them, and give ourselves an opportunity here. Now around the outside of Ryan Priest, now to the back of AJ Allmendinger here, and we'll just stay reluctant right there, just all over the back of him, not running into him quite yet. P13, here we go, and now Kozlowski into P11 as we approach 2 laps to go. Allmendinger leaves the door open. We're going to go up the inside, contact with the 31. He shuts the door. Now he runs us into the grass a little bit now as we continue this physical battle with the 31, but we've been pushed around by this guy all race long. I said enough is enough. We have had altercations previously at road courses with AJ Allmendinger, and we are about to bring it back today. Now we're going to give him a nice push down this long back straightaway. He knows what's coming. There's no way he's going to get out of this unless he pulls over and backs out now. Heading down towards the high-speed right-hander. We run through the back of the 31. We sail him off into the corner, spin him into the barrier. We even run ourselves off. Zane Smith goes through. We drop to P13. You think back to Watkins Glen when we had that big moment with Allmendinger a season ago, and at this point you're not going to just shove me around. Of course, we have been in bad blood with Kaulig Racing, but at the end of the day, you're not going to shove me around 3 or 4 times without getting something back, and I tried to stay reluctant as long as I could. 2 laps ago, and Justin Haley is driving away. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin 2nd and 3rd. How about James Hinchcliffe up here? We're going to pass the fellow Canadian and move up into P11 now. Kozlowski P10. We should be able to get a top 10 before this race is over, but certainly anything short of a victory is a extreme disappointment in front of the home crowd, and that home win will have to wait another season just due to a poor timed caution. I could never find what brought out the caution, by the way, so that was quite frustrating as well. We passed Kozlowski. Moving into the top 10, Bell, Blaney, 9th and 8th, just in front of us here. Now a nice run on the exit of the left-hander. We're going to dive one up the inside of that number 20. Up ahead, you can see Shane Van Gisbergen and Joey Logano as well, scrapping it out. We pass Bell for P9. Blaney up next in that 8th position, and Haley is all on his own. Nobody is even close to that number 60. Kyle Busch trailing well behind in second. Up the inside of the 12 we go into P8, and now up the inside of his teammate of Joey Logano. We know we're going to be fighting both Blaney Logano in the playoffs as well as we head down this long back straightaway for the final time. We get up to P7, but of course it's just not enough here now, as it's going to be all Justin Haley in control. He was in the right place at the right time. Haley wins in Canada, his second win on the season for RFK. Kyle Busch in second position. We round the final few turns. It's going to be Hamlin in third, Larson fourth. A drag race to the line with Shane Van Gisbergen. Gibbs will get fifth, and right at the line, we'll get SVG for P6. Justin Haley gets to celebrate and burn it down for the second time this season. And as well, you see the finishing order now. Kyle Busch, Hamlin, both in a must-win. Second and third, Larson fourth, Gibbs fifth. Rounding out the top 10 was Brad Keselowski. We beat Bubba Wallace in the bracket tournament, and between Hocevar and Chandler Smith, well, Chandler Smith ends up not beating Carson Hocevar. Hocevar ended up P17 while Chandler Smith ended up 23rd. So it will be myself versus Hocevar for $1 million next episode in the bracket tournament finale, as we, of course, move on into that against him. Kamui Kobayashi ended up 24th and at the bottom of the grid. You see James Davison, Josh Berry down a lap, but the DNFs, Austin Cindric, Austin Hill, and Noah Gregson. That's going to wrap it up for us. Of course, looking at the playoff grid, not really a whole lot to look at aside from the fact that we just know that if Gilliland gets passed by Briscoe in the top 30 in points, Briscoe will go into that playoff spot and Gilliland will drop out of it. So 2 races left in the regular season. We just kind of watch what happens there. If they both drop out of the top 30, well, Reddick is back into the playoffs, but Bubba Wallace isn't. So it's going to be interesting. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching and have a great day.